咁而家就我哋就即刻進入今日最靚奇個環節，我哋嘅 Keynote speech。咁而家 AI 嘅浪潮正喺到成套陸續嘅世界咯。咁我哋亦有今日有兩位重量級嘅嘉賓，就會喺呢個題目上面分享。咁佢哋分別就係Google 嘅10班Wella，仲有呢個Google 嘅大中華區首席市場官Seba。
Now it's time to kick off the most exciting part of today, Keynote speech. This year, the wave of AI innovation is transforming our world like never before. And to help us uncover the intelligent app revolution, we're honored to have two powerhouse speakers joining us today. Seba from Google and Wang Ben, Chief Marketing Officer of Google from Google Greater China.
咁而家我哋就會邀請Seba為我哋做第一個嘅 Keynote speech。
Seba will be opening his sessions with his keynote, The Intelligent App Revolution, powered by Gemini, Firebase, and Google Cloud. Let's give a big round of applause to welcome Seba to the stage.
Just 1 minute device test.
哇，要少少時間係啦，咁根本就好快翻嚟嘅。
Let me type it. Maybe you don't put it quick.
Yeah.
Reminder again.
咁喺度可以再次提醒各位啦。咁喺個 test 上面咧，大家頸掛住個筆上面咧，係會有呢個嘅電子嘅呢個證書嘅，係啊，咁就可以證明大家係即係有個記錄，證明翻大家係參加今日活動嘅。咁另外咧，亦都有呢個嘅呢個 QR code 就可以睇翻今日嘅 agenda 啦，係啦。咁如果大家有佢某個嘅 topic 特別有興趣嘅話，就可以喺嗰個時間入翻去嗰個會場，咁就去聽睇嗰個嘅部分。
Please give a warm applause for Seba. So thank you.
Hello. You hear me? Perfect. Well, hello there, Press Hong Kong. It's an incredible pleasure to be here today. I'm Seba. I'm Director of Engineering at Google. My team supports some products you may know, Firebase, for example. Does anyone use Firebase? People familiar with Firebase? Fantastic. And Flutter. Any Flutter users? Okay. Couple. My team also supports products like Firebase Studio. We are working really close with Gemini CLI, so on and so forth. The GG community is very special to me. I've been at Google for 4 years. I do my best to attend several of these events every year. And we are part of something special. This is a global network of builders, global network of dreamers, and problem solvers. Today we're going to cover, or I'm going to talk a little bit about the next giant leap when it comes to building applications, which I call the intelligent app revolution. Make sure I have this. And we're going to do it with a unified platform. I'm going to cover Gemini CLI, I'm going to cover Gemini, I'm going to cover Firebase, and I'm going to cover the Google platform. So before we get started, a little bit of a warning. I might have used one too many slides generated with Nano and Anna. So let's see if you can pick which ones are I made with Nano and Anna and which ones I just made myself. What do you think about this one? Let's start warming up with AI generated images. So why are we all here? Let's talk about the real reason why we are in this room. We're builders. It's in our DNA, right? We like building things. That's why we are here on a beautiful Saturday morning. And for the first time, we have the opportunity to build applications that not only follow predefined steps, but we as developers can build applications that understand what our users want, applications that can reason based on our data, and most importantly, we can build applications that learn, right? We can build now. We have this ability of building applications that if there is an error, if there is user input, they can learn, they can get better. So we are moving from static features. You build an application, it always works the same way, it always responds the same way, to building intelligent, dynamic applications. And that's the future, and that's how we delight our users. So AI is on what we build, but also AI is how we build, right? So there is these two things going on at the same time. We grab AI, we package it in our applications, we delight our users. But most importantly, we also use AI to build applications, right? So we are using AI in two different ways. And the data from the Dora report, is everyone familiar with Dora? Somehow. So Dora is a report that covers mainly developer productivity, how developer technologies, one of them. So the data from Dora, right? So just look at the numbers. 90% adoption of AI. 80% of the people feeling that they're proactive. We are building faster, and we are not only building faster, we're seeing an impact, right? We're seeing a productivity impact. The technology is here, the technology works, the technology is adopted more and more, and it's a primary amplifier of our developer speed. But there is a caveat. Who here is using AI to build applications? Both ways, right? AI is not a magic tool, it's not a silver bullet. When we use it without a cohesive platform, when we use it without guardrails, when we use it without clear guidance, it just doesn't amplify velocity, right? It also amplifies complexity. And why does it amplify complexity, right? Because it starts taking data from different sources and starts, mashing together different kinds of services that without guardrails, it just makes the application really complex. Who here has built an application using AI and then has gone to the code and say, what's going on here? Really hard to understand, right? Because AI does that. So to lead the intelligent app revolution, we need to make sure that we are not accelerating things such as security gaps. This is very common. I read the developer the other day on LinkedIn. This person was building a password vault, by coding a password vault. Right? And he shared the code on LinkedIn. The passwords were stored in plain text. It was like, geez. So these are the things that we can all fall into if you're using AI without guardrails, if you're using AI without governance, if you're using AI without making sure that it's secure. And a big part of that is to use a platform, a platform that forces us to do the right thing. Platform where doing the right thing, not saving passwords in plain text, is the default. So let's ground this in reality. We all, if you are working in any way, if you're a professional developer, if you're doing an internship, we all got in the mandate. Right? I work for Google. This happened 3 years ago. I got the mandate. Prioritize AI. This is the Gemini revolution. You've probably seen the videos from Sundar talking about the Gemini revolution. And our leaders came to us and said, you must integrate AI. We need it fast, efficient, and we don't need it today. We need AI implemented yesterday, right? And that's what they tell us as leaders. Right? And what they're asking is very demanding. The deadline that they usually give us, it's very tight, if not impossible. And the how we do it, how we implement AI, it's completely up to us. Right? And back to the importance of when we think about implementing AI with a cohesive platform. Of course, I'm going to talk about GCP, Firebase, Gemini. But in general, when you think about implementing AI, think about a cohesive platform. Even if you're not using Google technologies, which I hope, again, if you are here with us on a Saturday morning, you are all using Google technologies. So let's ground it in a concrete example. Let's talk about a concrete example, right? You're responsible for an e-commerce. You're running e-commerce. You're a technology person running an e-commerce shop for a customer, for yourself, and whatnot. And you know that if you bring AI to your end user, if you bring real-time intelligence to your customers, you're going to have a massive business impact. And this is demonstrated. It's also demonstrated, like if you look at studies, it's demonstrated that AI makes, when you implement it correctly, it delights users. It makes users happier, again, correctly, but it can only implement it very frustrating for users. It makes developers happier and whatnot. So an idea is born. You say, I want to implement AI. And one of the things that I usually run into when I talk with you folks on the field, when I talk with developers is, yeah, AI is great, but what should I use AI for? There is this gap on, I've been asked to implement AI, but I don't really know what problems to solve. I'm not talking about the classic use of AI, which is a chatbot. But, something like you're going to get if you go to some of the rules and documentation about how to use AI, you're going to see a lot more examples of the problems we can solve with AI. The chatbot I'm going to talk about is probably the classic one, but AI can be used to solve many different problems. So again, back to our problem. You want to implement a chatbot, and not just a chatbot. We're going to build a professional customer service intelligent assistant for our customers. And this chatbot is going to do two things. I'm going to keep it simple. First thing is that it's going to understand natural language. So when a customer goes to it and says, "Hey, I want ABC," it's going to understand what it's asking. The second thing it's going to do, which is a little bit more interesting, is going to connect a Shopify instance, a Shopify store, and get live information. But when we start thinking about building these things, we all spot. Immediately we hit a wall, right? And you all know the problem very well, right? Just building a simple AI chatbot requires us navigating a chaotic number of services, requires that we become experts in every API that's part of our ecosystem. It probably requires us to Google 50 different times, like go through like Reddit, go through a Stack Overflow, go through several posts, some of them with outdated information, some of them with things that don't work. And we spend our days just wrestling with all that difficulty, right? With all that friction. And the complexity just doesn't slow us down. It kills our momentum. It makes us slower. It takes the joy out of building it. And now silently we are the developer on the picture. Like we are in API hell, trying to mash everything together. So I need, my leader asked me to build this chatbot. How do I do that? But there's a better way, right? There is a better way. I told you I went nuts with Nano Banana. So bear with me. The solution is not that you have to learn every single API, right? The solution is to use a partner or have someone on your team that already knows all the APIs. That it's able to synthesize the knowledge, a massive amount of knowledge, just to help us build what we want to build. And that partner is a Gemini CLI. Has anyone used a Gemini CLI? Yeah, couple of folks. Has anyone used Firebase Studio? Okay, interesting. Has anyone used Cursor? Cloud Code? Claude? Okay, few hands. All right. So a way to think about the Gemini CLI is, Gemini CLI is our code developer. I like to think about the Gemini CLI or any other code agent as someone I'm doing pair programming with. I try not to think about them as, okay, this is a new developer that is replacing me. but think of them like they need supervision. Let's be real. Like to build things, useful things with coding agents, they need some sort of supervision. So I want to think of them as someone I'm doing pair programming with. Particularly the Gemini CLI, it's free, it's open source, it lives in the terminal, which is accessible for all of us. It's compatible with Linux, with Windows, with Mac OS. And in this case, in the case of the problem we're going to solve, it's going to act as the expert, right? It's going to act as the expert that's going to help me orchestrate the entire journey from the idea I had. I want to build this intelligent agent, to delight my customers that takes a request, connects to Shopify, to a working thing, the working agent. So, I pre-recorded, so it's a little bit faster, risk-free. But the first thing that's going to happen here is that I'm going to start the Gemini CLI. There is a file called Gemini MD. The Gemini MD has certain specifications. For example, what's saying is that, hey, every time I want to build an agent, use the agent development kit in the Gemini MD file, and it has some guidelines. And we talk about the guidelines. We talk about the need of building this with a cohesive platform. The second thing it's going to do is going to respond to my ask, and it's going to start, when it reads the Gemini MD file and says use agent development kit, it's going to pull the agent development kit documentation from the internet. It's going to start understanding how to use it. It's going to build this scaffolding. It's going to build agent py file, which is the brain. And the second thing it's going to build, because I asked, hey, I need this to connect to Shopify, it's going to build the tools.py file, which is basically how to connect to Shopify. It's a tool that's going to give to the agent on how to connect to Shopify. And realize that I didn't have to do much, right? I just gave a specification, and it knew what to do. And the last thing it's going to build is going to build a file where I'm going to put all my, credentials, like my environment credentials, my Shopify access, my token, my API keys, and whatnot. So once this is completed, it's going to be in a second, I just run it. Now I have an agent development kit agent that literally built in 90 seconds. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run it. It's a Python script. Now ADK agent development kit is also available on Go. JavaScript they're working on. So in the future we can also run it with Node. It's not going to be only Python. So I'm going to run it. I'm running it. It's going to open the agent development kit workbench, which is a website. It's running on my local machine. When I open the support agent that just built, type a message. We can see in the behind it how it's what it's doing. And I'm going to pass a prompt. Can you help me with the product today? Even with the spelling mistakes, it got it. And this is my Shopify. This is a true Shopify website. I'm going to I just copy the product ID. I'm going to pass it to the agent. And we can see real time that it knows what products to use. Sorry, not product. It knows what tools to use. And it's going to use that to get the product information. On the left, I have debugging. So at the end of the presentation, I'm going to share a GitHub repo where you can download all this code and just try it out yourself. But this is what makes me really excited about these intelligent applications, right? We're talking about the platforms of the future. Everything the agent is doing is being logged, right? And it has an automatic built-in feedback loop. So if there is an issue, if there is customer feedback, we can configure the agent so it retrains itself. And if not, we can retrain it. It becomes part of the agent context. So in a way, developer, being a developer in the future is not just being a developer. We're also becoming teachers for or guides for the Gemini CLI, guides for the agents we build. But we don't stop there, right? I talked a lot about the cohesive platform. The agent we build just becomes the brain of our applications. With one command, we can deploy that agent to Cloud Run. It's already running. At the end of the day, it's just a REST endpoint that we can invoke. But we can continue working on the Gemini CLI. We can add Firebase authentication for sign in on user registration. We can add file store if you want to store, like, for example, the chat history. We can add cloud storage. You can add data connect if you want to use a SQL database. Firebase is a comprehensive platform, right? So at the bottom, you see the yellow icons. We have an experimentation framework. We have analytics. We have like performance reporting. We have crash reporting. We even have a testing engine. You do all that. You build an Next.js app, a modern Next.js application using Firebase. You deploy it to app hosting. It connects to the agent we just built that's running in Cloud Run or it's running in Vertex engine. And the beauty of all of this is that every time you build with Firebase, you're building on top of Google Cloud. So, you're not blocking it yourself. If tomorrow you want to expand into other Google Cloud services, for example, Bigtable, you just go to the Google Cloud Console and your Firebase project is automatically connected. So this is the beauty of building with a very cohesive platform. Not only that we're giving our agents or Gemini CLI in this case, or the coding agents guidelines to make sure that things work and things are built the right way by default. The second thing is that we don't have to go through all the documentation, through all those APIs and becoming experts on every API. But the third thing is that as we're building in a cohesive platform, we can expand into bigger and broader things like other GCP services. And again, we don't stop there. Every agent you build using ADK, every agent you deploy to Cloud Run using ADK or Firebase using ADK, you can register it as an agent in Gemini Enterprise. Gemini Enterprise is the version of Gemini that can be used within enterprises, specifically tailored to the company it's running on. So imagine this scenario, right? You went in, you build like a customer service agent, an expert for your end users. But now you can take the same agent and make it available for your back office, right? And with one click, you deploy it in Gemini Enterprise, and it's available in the agent gallery to be used internally in the company. This is the power of building with the platform. This is the power of building components that can be reused across the stack. So I give you two QR codes. The first one is the one for Gemini CLI. If you haven't used a Gemini CLI, again, you download it, install it. You can look at the code. You can contribute if you want. It's built in Node.js. I contributed some code myself, so if I did it, you can absolutely do it yourself too. And you can get it going. The second QR code is all the code I just used. You just download from GitHub, and you can try it on your machine. And if you have any questions, you just share it with the organizers, and we'll help you. I give you one more minute so you can take the pictures. All right. And we don't stop here. Like, if you want to continue your journey, this is probably one of the most important resources you have. Go in, sign up for the developer program. Full developer program gives you access to workshops, gives you access to more events like this. It gives you access to the community. It gives you access to us that work at Google. It gives you access to experts, so on and so forth. One more minute for the QR codes. And with that, you know, I think you have the tools, have the platform, you have Gemini CLI, you have Firebase, you have Google Cloud. Let's go build some cool software. Right. I think we have some more minutes.
Yeah, so maybe Q&A.
Yeah, let's do Q&A.
So anyone has got any questions for Seba? So it's a very great opportunity. Yes.
Excuse me, is there any roadmap or timeline that the Gemini API or this kind of AI service will be available in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think if the Gemini API is not yet available on Vertex, it will be available fairly soon. I don't have a timeline yet on the. We have 2 Gemini APIs because why not? Right? So the Vertex API I think is available now, and if not, it's going to be available pretty soon. For the developer API, which is the other one we have, I don't have a time. We should certainly connect and share more information.
I have used the VS Code, which also support the Gemini while a extension in VS Code. And any difference between the VS Code and Gemini CLI?
Yeah, so you use Gemini Code Assist. Right?
VS Code.
Yeah. The Gemini Code Assist is an extension that runs on top, directly on top of VS Code. Gemini Code Assist now, like if you download the latest version, behind the scenes uses the Gemini CLI. So that's one thing to consider. The other thing is you can configure the Gemini CLI to run on top of VS Code. That's how I use it, right? Like when I'm building Node.js applications, I have the Gemini CLI running in my VS Code terminal, and it connects automatically with VS Code. So every time it creates a file, it posts the file created on VS Code. Every time it modifies a file, it shows you the diff between the 2 files. So to me, that's the best way to use it. I was using the Gemini Code Assist extension, and I switched completely to Gemini CLI running on the VS Code terminal. I just got used to that workflow.
And in fact, it's available in Hong Kong.
What's that?
It's available, I use it.
I use it on my laptop in Hong Kong.
You need to use Vertex AI with Gemini CLI. You can use it. You just set up login the Gcloud and then just set up the environment, the project ID, and your
So you have to use it with the Vertex API because the developer API is not available yet.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm here. What do you think about spec-driven development?
Spec-driven development?
Yeah, especially the spec contributed by GitHub.
No, look, it's I have not used it. I have not done spec-driven development. I have done like a blueprint-driven development, which is fairly similar. I think we should try it. Like now, I want to try it. I think you can configure your Gemini MD file. So the way it works is that when Gemini CLI starts, it grabs the Gemini MD file, and that gives like the system prompt or the context. There's a principal one that comes with the tool, and then you can inject the one for the project. I'd be curious if what happens if you inject like spec-driven development in Gemini CLI and Gemini MD. Definitely should try it.
So is there any plan to make a Gemini CLI more spec-driven development, more friendly for it?
More friendly?
Yeah,
with
more friendly for the spec-driven development.
I don't know of any plan, but that's certainly yes. A very not well-known secret. Like the leader of the Gemini CLI team, Scott Densmore, surprisingly, is not thinking about it.
Thank you for the presentation. I want to bring us to your point about shifts from intelligent applications. I think going from a very deterministic or it's just changed. So we talk a lot about how we build. What's your thoughts on how we test in this new paradigm?
That's a great question. So one of the things that you're gonna find, like if you Google Like, for example, we have an agent called AI safety agent, right? One of the things we need to when we build our testing stack, we start thinking about these agents that test against like undeterministic outputs. So one time is we build an agent to test agents. We call it the AI safety agent. And what it does is that like you define like evals, for example. Like for those that are not familiar with it, evals, it's basically you set a set of prefix inputs and expected outputs, and you make sure that you're testing your model or your agent against those inputs, and make sure that they're getting similar outputs or expected outputs. So the AI safety agent allows you to do that, but it also allows you to do other things, like make sure that your agent is not showing harming content or not generating harming content. So yeah, like the way we test these deterministic applications is changing. The other thing we built, and it's available on Firebase, is Keynote. Keynote is treatment. Not, when you use a script to test an application, they're pretty much deterministic. So click in the bottom name XYZ, go to the coordinates and click. Build this agent. When you define the agent, make sure you have the wide to the shopping cart. And that's and then everything you want. And it's into the whole. Okay, this button looks like a search. This looks like a search box. This looks like an active button. And these applications get to the right now, they're only available for Firebase. They're building a CLI extension. It's called it's testing agent. It's great question. You can Firebase app distribution. One more question.
Thank you for great talk. I just have one question. How do you know about your strategy?
It's the one that comes by default. Very good. It's very good. We're working a spec that I find it online. It's called .prom. So if you look at no, it's not called .prom. It's called like the prom guide. .guides. .guides. Look for Google .guides. It's on GitHub. It's a spec that like and premise is that every project, for example, now with .guide, that's going to tell Gemini how to use the .guide, and if you configure the MD files. Something we found out is that if let's say you're building library or library, all that's much. What we now using this agent, that for example, for this like like the book. You put when you want to navigate in there. So that's one trick. For the Gemini files, have this, which is the Gemini. You can have one in the directory. Have a file the full, right? And to the full API, for example, you would only do the API of 25. Yeah. Here you can interact with API CLI app and the name of the file. Like, and if you your code, you have a file that provides very relevant content, just add and put the then put the prompt, and that gives that makes it more accurate. Thank you. To develop by best practice. Yeah. I think I usually tell Gemini. I usually find that Gemini is very nice. So I tell Gemini, don't be nice, just be critical. That's usually my input. So I just be critical, like criticize, like because if not, it's just too nice. It's just basically whatever you tell it. All right, well, folks, been a pleasure. Thank you everyone for your time, and yeah, enjoy that.
好唔該晒十巴，咁亦都唔該晒十巴短道嘢嚟嘅，係啦，咁就提供咗呢個關於興趣啦，係啦，個分享嘅Firebase係啦。
We would like to give a special thank you to Seba, who has traveled all the way here to share such deep insights into Google's latest technology. Thank you.